Continuing our audio journey. Today I'm in a woodlands which is owned by a friend of mine who had an accident a while ago and is now a paraplegic. So he pretty much can't get in the woods anymore. So I thought a really good project would be to create an audio recording of the woodlands. We'll start off with the spring project. Now spring is still a month away, but what we can do is recce the woods and actually see what's here and what might be interesting to record. So rather than setting any recorders up, we're just going to have a walk through the woods and basically see what's here, think about the time of year and what's going to happen. So we know spring's going to come soon, and we know the birds will really start singing. So we're down the bottom end of the woods here at the moment, and other things that we can think about in the recording are a stream. There's a stream here flowing through the woods with little waterfalls. And that runs off down there, back around to that area. And there's little tributary streams coming in from the bogs. Some little pools. Check to see whether this is slippy. No, it's not, so I'll walk across. Another interesting feature is there are beehives. I think only one of them is still active though. But if you've got a hive, there's nothing stopping a swarm actually relocating itself to a hive. So there may be interesting bee sounds, maybe with a contact mic, we'll see. So if we walk up through here, follow the stream up, which is there, keeps going. We've got two different types of wood here. We've got pine on this side, an old plantation, and on the other side we have ancient oak forest. These are sessile oaks. And all of this is protected. You're not allowed to cut the trees down or anything. So in this woodland, we've got a path up that's been built for my friend to be able to come in a wheelchair when he's got his off-road wheelchair. I think that's going to be another month or so. So he should be able to get up here, just wheel up along this track through a gate and come to here and be able to sit here in the day. But in his wheelchair he gets quite cold, so he can't stay for long. So I thought if I could create a kind of audio recording of some kind of the sounds of his woodlands, maybe going through the spring into the summer, and I could create something for him where he could just turn it on and listen to. So I think that's a good idea, but we can use that idea as we're learning audio. We can learn about the audio by creating something that would be really good for somebody else. So a project, something to focus on. Let's have a look at other aspects of the woods. I think the person who owns the wood has said you do get badgers in here. So at night time you'll get badgers rummaging around. I think they live in places like, rather than digging burrows, they tend to kind of excavate under rocks. So I don't know exactly where they are, but there are some around here somewhere. Going up through a steep bit of ground here now. There's no buds on the trees yet, so we're a while off yet from spring, but when it happens, it'll happen, and there's plenty of wildlife here. I'm quite lucky. I'm quite lucky because I live in a rural location, which is also a national park in Wales. Yeah, and by living in a national park, it means that the land isn't destroyed too much like it is in other parts of the country. So we keep going up through, checking out locations really. So we know down the bottom end we can record down by the river. Also got to remember that further down, where the river was flowing along that stream, there's also a road there. Because this is a rural place, that road only tends to get busy in the daytime. People going to work in the morning. So hopefully around the time of the dawn chorus, when we get to March, it'll be getting light before 7. Which means that traffic on the road will be at a minimum, and hopefully we can get some nice clear singing in the morning from the birds. Another aspect about the ground here, okay, it's quite steep, but there's a lot of moss. The ground is quite wet. We do get a lot of frogs and toads. So if we curry comb the hillside here, we may be able to find a pool or something where, if we think about it, we could leave a rig that would be able to record the dawn chorus and potentially capture a spawning event. Which are quite good and noisy. Very interesting sounds. And what you don't know at this point is that the gain dial on the Zoom H1n is slowly being reduced in my pocket, and I'm having to make incremental changes to the audio in this video by increasing the volume of the lavalier mic. Yep, so it's all a bit bleak here at the moment, being winter. Nothing on the trees, no leaves on the trees. As you can see, the landscape is skeletal. If we keep going up through, there's a wall up at the top. And now we've got to the point where we can't get any more audio from the lavalier mic. So I'm switching to the audio on the action camera. This is a really, really good lesson learnt. But for now, we're going to get on with the recce. So going, loads of rotten trees here as well. And these rotten trees. It even looks as if there's a nest in the past nest hole in the tree, which would be good. So here, a nice old rotten oak. Another one's come down here. There's two actually. Well, that's quite good because you get woodpeckers, tree creepers, nuthatches, basically come into these woods and pecking away at them to get the grubs out. And it looks as if there there is a hole here, and it may be a nest or maybe not. I hope you could see that. Okay, let's keep going. It goes up a fair way, this woods. There's no pond along here. I know we can get the wood, basically birds from the woodlands, and maybe wind sounds and anything else that are created in the woods. But for today, we're just recce in this woods. So we get recordings down the bottom, like we said, by the river. Maybe some in the fir trees, and then other ones in the woodland here. Then finding a good spot, and we are looking also for features in the land which may prompt features in the land that animals, birds, amphibians. So we know there's a stream down the bottom, we know there's water going down to it, so there must be some kind of place where the water goes down from. So although it's kind of boggy, it's not that boggy, which means that the water would be kind of concentrated around an area. Now we come up here now. See, there's a wall, boundary wall. If you have a look at the land, it dips. Now that would be an ideal place to look for water. It's quite simply because water always flows through the easiest part. So it's quite dry up here where we are now. And lo and behold, here we go. We have a pond. The water from the box is basically gathering up into a pond. I think there's an outlet on the other side, but it's pretty much still. And as it's still, this may be a really good place to hear frogs and toads spawning. So looking around, where would be a good place to set up, say, a pair of clippies or some other types of microphones that'll pick up the woodland sounds, the birds, potentially animals, and also potentially frogs and toads. And there's not really, we've got that tree right there, So we could put a set of clippies, wrap them around that. That's right on the pond as well, and it kind of looks, it'll hopefully pick up the bird song from the top of the woods. Which means that the treetops a little bit further down, where a lot of birds tend to go in the treetops, are directly in front of us. So we don't have to worry about facing upwards, because we're facing straight on to the tops of trees. So that, by the looks of it, is probably the best site here. Put them around either side. Looking down there. Yep, I think that's that. So that'll give us a starting point. So that'll give us a starting point for recording the dawn chorus and potentially amphibians, frogs and toads spawning. And then we can think about the water flowing and other sounds from the woods as we go along. But this gives us a good starting point. We can see it as homework. We know now, or I know, I can just come straight to this point. I don't have to currycomb the hillside and basically just set it up here. I'll probably do it in the evening, leave it overnight, do it with a H1n and clippies to begin with a power pack rather than batteries, because it'll be over 8 hours. Hopefully we'll start that process in the next video or two. So until then, I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.